After a prolonged period of continuous winter rain, spring has finally arrived. This is the part of the season that signals the time for getting the garden ready for another growing year. Let the gardening season begin. Now, spring is the best time to get out in the garden and scavenge for free plants. Now, if you look at the base of your catmint, you'll see several runner plants. You can go ahead and dig these up. I potted them right here. I got about 3 or 4 of them for free. And in about a month's time, I'll be able to plant them elsewhere in the garden or just give some to friends. Yarrow's another great plant that you can dig through. It's starting to wake up from its winter nap. You can dig up the little shoots or the little babies, repot them, and you've got free yarrow. Another awesome plant for freebies is this Verbena bonariensis. It's a wonderful free seeding plant. Not invasive, but if you let it take over your garden, it definitely will. In spring, the little babies pop up everywhere. Just pluck them out, plant them elsewhere in the garden. You can pot them up and share them with your friends. But again, this is a wonderful plant. We'll give you lots of freebies. Now, without a doubt, my favorite part of my garden are my roses. I absolutely love them, especially the David Austin roses. Now, I'm a little late to the party this year, but I'm going to go ahead and give them their first feed. This is EB Stone, an organic rose fertilizer, and I'll go ahead and spread it generously at the base of each plant. Now, spring is the perfect time to assess your wins and your losses in the garden, and by far my biggest win last year was the incredible hydrangeas. They were stunning. The plant got to be about 4 feet tall, and my friends and my family could not get over how enormous the blooms were. I decided to add to that garden by filling in the fence line with a climbing rose, and then the Jackmanii clematis has put on a lot of growth this spring, more than it did the entire growing season last year. So this is going to be a awesome part of the garden. What's great is Mother Nature has decided to add her own touch here. I found a little piece of geranium roseanne. I'm not sure how it got there, but again, Mother Nature has its way to help you design the garden, and she usually has wonderful intentions. Now, one of my biggest losses or fails in the garden have continued to be this star jasmine. It has just not grown in 2 years. It was actually one of the first things I planted, and I really wanted it to cover this entire fence line. I did finish this wire project, and it's real simple to do. You just sink these screws in with a washer at the end, and then you wind it around, and then just make this crisscross pattern. It's real easy to do. I did finish that project in hopes that maybe they'll decide this year they actually want to grow. Okay, so the next job we're gonna tackle is planting up these hanging baskets. And last year I had some beautiful like hanging fuchsias, and they looked absolutely great, but they were a lot of maintenance. I was constantly deadheading, constantly feeding, constantly watering. And this year I'm looking for things that are a little less maintenance-y. And so what I've settled on, and it's not exciting, is this Boston fern, right? I mean, I think this is the #1 hanging basket plant, and for good reason, right? It's evergreen, it always looks pretty, they're super low maintenance, and I think they fit in perfectly with the cottage garden theme. And here's what I do with a lot of plants, and this is no different, is you take this and you cut the root ball in half. So I know it's gonna look a little vicious, it's gonna look vicious, but hear me out here. You cut it in half, and this plant will recover in no time. And now I have 2 plants for the price of 1. We'll go ahead and plant them up. And again, I know it looks brutal what we did to them, but they will recover super fast. Now, one thing I look forward to in spring is planting up the vegetable garden. It's one of my favorite things to do throughout the year. Now, I don't have a lot of space here, but it's plenty to grow all of the things that my family loves to eat. Last year we had so much squash and cucumbers and zucchinis and tomatoes that I were giving them out to friends and family. The garden consists of 4 beds. They're all 6x3. This one is dedicated just to Albion strawberries. In this bed here, we're gonna go ahead and plant up all of our tomatoes and bell peppers. And I've got 2 beds here. This one's gonna be corn, pole beans, and sugar baby melons. And this one right here is gonna hold all of our cucumbers, squash, and zucchini. It's important to start the season off with a fresh layer of some EB Stone organic soil. Again, this is just kind of my go-to product. I absolutely love their brand, and this is a great soil. There's no need to till it in. Just let the earthworms and the moisture do their thing and bring the nutrients into the soil. Now I'm going to replace the soaker hose and I can begin planting. I'm using stakes for the zucchini and squash because it keeps them from sprawling and taking up too much space. This makes room for other veggies that enjoy a little bit of afternoon shade, things like carrots, celery, stuff like that. Don't forget to break off the plant tag and place them at the base of the plant. I know a tomato's a tomato and a zucchini's a zucchini, but it's important to know which varieties you're planting. I know a couple years ago I planted some great squash, and since then I haven't been able to find that same variety. I'm planting a Persian cucumber, and if you haven't grown them yet, definitely put them in your garden this year. They're small, crunchy, flavorful, great. I absolutely love them. Probably ate about 30 of them last year. Next up is the corn, and I'll space them a little closer than the tags say in kind of a staggering pattern. You'll notice some of them have 2, even 3 shoots. It's okay to pull them apart. They're resilient plants. Go ahead and plant them in singular. And also make sure to plant them on the back of your border so that they don't cast shade on your vegetables down the line. I'm going to now plant some sugar baby melons. I tried growing these last year and unfortunately it was a fail, but I'm going to give it a go again this season. I'm really hoping for a July 4th where I'm barbecuing the sweet corn and eating some sugar baby melons. A veggie garden must-have are sunflowers. I'm going to grow several in here. This year I'm trying out a new one. This is vanilla ice. This one's going to be about 5 to 6 feet tall. Another giant one is this giant gray. This one was great last year for chewing sunflower seeds. And these ones get to be about 2 feet tall. They're perfect for cutting and bringing into the house. Last thing I'm going to plant here for now is this Evelyn Dahlia. It gets to be about 48 inches tall. I scored this one at a 50% discount. I've been soaking them in water for the last like 2 hours or so, and they are ready to plant. Make sure that you plant the stem, which is kind of crazy looking, facing up, and there's little eyes around the stem. And then you'll generally plant these flat. So I'm gonna go ahead and plant these right here in the garden. All right, so we got everything planted up. Let me take you through it real quick here. And again, I don't have a lot of garden space here, but we grow plenty out of this to easily feed my family all the things that they enjoy eating. And we tend to be giving away things by midsummer or so. So here we have yellow corn, which is a sweet corn. I love barbecuing it. I'll leave room right here for another row. In 3 weeks, I'll go ahead and plant up pole beans and they'll grow up the corn. And then we put 1, 2, 3 sugar baby melons in there. We've got a yellow squash, a green zucchini. We planted the dahlia right there. And then I'll plant something here, not sure yet what that's going to be. Growing up this arbor is going to be Persian cucumbers. And this one is all just for the pollinators. Here we're going to plant a vining tomato. Beefmaster tomato, again, I don't know what the heck that is, but I'm leaving it in there, it looks cool. A pineapple tomato, yellow bell pepper, and a red bell pepper. This is all of our strawberries, the Albion strawberries. These are going to be all sunflowers. These are the ones that are going to be good for cutting. And so that's the garden this year. Like I said, in about 3 weeks time, I'll come back in and reseed in the second succession. And this will pretty much feed us throughout the entire summer. Now, this isn't a project, but I'm very excited to share that I was able to get my hands on 4 cafe au lait dahlias, or I don't even know how to say that. I probably totally butchered that. I don't care. I'm not a stickler for the name anyways, but feel free to correct me in the comment section if you wish. These are a dahlia that I've been wanting to grow for the last 2 seasons. I know they're very popular. I was not able to get my hands on them last year. So I'm very excited to have 4 of them this year. I went ahead and potted them up. I'm gonna get them nice and rooted in. And then as the garden bed kind of fills its way in, I'm just gonna stuff these into the gaps of the garden border in the next couple of weeks. So again, not a project, but I did want to share that I did get my hands on 4 of them and I'm very excited about it. All right, well, there you have it. Another summer ready for friends and family and flowers. If you want to see a full garden tour from last year, check that out. It's right here. And in about 3 weeks, I'll be posting a full garden tour when the hydrangeas are blooming, the alliums are fully bloomed, the roses are out. It's going to be absolutely stunning. You're not going to want to miss it. Make sure you subscribe right here so that you don't miss that video when I post it. Thanks a lot. See you in the next one. Bye.